So today, we're going to do my Masters Santiago Pickems. What could go wrong? I'm always right in this. Still, by the way, have never correctly predicted an international winner. So maybe this time's the time, but maybe I'm about to curse whoever I'm going to say is win the tournament. But before we get into that, first, I do just have a couple quick things to show you. The first one is this, because if you go to the esports tab in Valorant right now, and you go to Pickems, you get this community leaderboard over here. If you scroll down, oh yeah, guess who's in Valorant? That's right, me. So yeah, I will be making a community pick'ems as well on kind of the Valorant esports side that you can join. I'll also do a group code for VLR. I'll leave that in the pinned comment. But also, before we get into it, VFL is back for Masters Santiago. You can now build a team for Masters Santiago. Now, the things you should know, you're going to build a team of 6 players, as you can see just there. The way that it is split up is into 3 different sections. The first one is the Swiss stage, then the first part of the playoffs, then the final 4. Only pick players from the Swiss stage to begin with, obviously, because the players who play in the playoffs, the bye teams, you'll get no points for them from the first week. So make sure you're only picking Swiss players to begin with, and you'll then get 3 transfers to bring in those playoff starting players if you want to. So yeah, go and play VFL. The link is in the top of the description if you want to do that for Master Santiago. But now, let's do these pick'ems. So these are our games. Our 4 games obviously start in Swiss. We won't know, what the second round of games are until they've been played and drawn. And we need to pick the 4 teams who will get out of the Swiss stage as well. So with that in mind, let's talk about these games. And well, essentially, I think you've got 3 games here that most people will look at as fairly one-sided, and then a bit of a coin flip here in G2 Paper Rex. In general, I actually went back and looked at some of the older tournaments as well, just to see how it went, and I noticed that basically every single time there's at least one kind of, I think, fairly big upset. But of the other 3 games, I think that probably one of them will be an upset. Now, if I was to rate those games in terms of likelihood of being an upset between the 3 of them, I would probably actually put Gentlemates last. Then I think it's close between these 2. The reason I say that is because I don't think EDG are very good. So with that in mind and that said, I think I will be picking Gentlemates for this first game. I actually think Gentlemates are maybe coming into this a little bit underrated. I do think that they were an incredibly strong team, could have beaten BBL quite easily, I think, in their upper final game. And I think that, yeah, Martin obviously went absolutely crazy, sure, but I actually think that Mates, they have a fairly solid map pool overall, and I'm feeling pretty good about them for this tournament and doing pretty well. So I'm definitely cursing them here, and EDG will probably beat them. But I'm feeling good about them. EDG, I'm not feeling good about. Their pistol round win rate isn't very good. They basically scraped through China, which is, I think a pretty weak region overall. So I'm just not feeling good about EDG's chances right now. Then we've got XLG versus NRG. Now, here's the thing about XLG, because a part of me wants to pick XLG. As I say, there's normally at least one upset. NRG, haven't been amazing, let's be real. Outside of, like, the end of their game against the MIBR, where they were really, they looked like the champs version of themselves all of a sudden. And there was one map, I think, in a previous game, maybe against G2, I can't remember what it was. The rest of the time, they've been okay to actually, I think, fairly poor. They haven't been amazing, and they haven't been consistent either, I think, through their Americas run. And so you might think that gives XLG a good chance, because XLG are the one Chinese team who I would say, they actually look like, a proper team right now. They are playing the meta. They're playing it well. It suits their players somewhat. They've got individuals popping off like Happyway as well. I think if Raga can be his top self, then they could actually do quite a lot of damage in this tournament. The problem for XLG, though, is their opponent, because the problem that I have with XLG in particular is that they make a lot of, silly mistakes, particularly if they've already, started a round off well. They then will somehow fumble that round in kind of, an annoying and atrocious way where people overpeak or get greedy or whatever it is. And I think NRG are exactly the team that will punish that. Even if NRG aren't playing amazingly well, I still think XLG might give them enough opportunities for them to win. And obviously if NRG do play very well, they're just going to win anyway. It doesn't really matter. But if they don't play well and XLG have a chance, I still worry that this is this and G2 are like the two teams you do not want to be like just giving chances to all the time. So for that reason, I am gonna pick NRG. And then we've got the banger game, G2 versus Paper Rex. Now, the Paper Rex copium train, you might call it, is in full swing. I mean, on Plat Chat, you know, you've got Sliggy and Achilleos wanting to rank them as the second highest. And I know that Sliggy wants to do that because he's already said, oh, I've picked them to win 2 internationals. So maybe he doesn't even fully believe it himself this time. Obviously, we know that Paper X have that within them. We know this. That's obvious, right? However, they aren't playing that well. They haven't played that well throughout the entirety of kickoff. Their individuals, apart from Forsaken, aren't playing that great either, I don't think. Certainly, you know, I mean, Something and Devi, I think, are, you know, playing a lot worse than they normally do, to be honest. I think Envy is playing okay, decent. And I think Jing is playing okay. But that's it. Like, that's not great. They're going to need to level up significantly individually, I think, to reach G2's level, who I think are just in a better spot right now. Even though G2 have kind of come to Paper Rex's, you know, style, and we're going to get that brawl, and I guess that's the reason you would pick Paper Rex in this game, is that G2 are playing Paper Rex's game, and Paper Rex will win in a game that is a mirror between these two teams, because Paper Rex are more familiar with that style. But I think G2 have just been playing better. Their individuals are playing better right now. Paper Rex have more to sort out, in my opinion. So I'm going to pick G2. And then you get T1 versus Team Liquid. Now on Plat Chat as well, I said I am a T1 hater. Again, the reason that Plat Chat ranked them number 1, I think that's kind of crazy. I think if you look through T1's run, in fact, I'll take you through T1's run right now, shall I? Just to kind of say my piece on T1. But let's go through their run that they had during kickoff here. So they started off with a loss to Nongshim. Okay, fair enough. Nongshim made it. They're pretty good. They beat Genji. Genji aren't great. They beat DRX. See, because this is the thing. You look at this, you'd think of this as a murderer's row going up here, right? Oh, they lost to Nongshim, then they played Genji, DRX, Paper Rex. Well, Genji aren't very good. DRX, this is before DRX figured out what they were doing, right? If you just look at DRX comps, they're playing Raze twice. They're not playing Waylay at all. This is like DRX, clueless DRX, that don't know what comps to play or what roles to play. Then they played Paper Rex, who, as I say, were at this point also kind of clueless. In here on Bind, map 3, they're whipping out the something veto, no practice. Doesn't work. Doesn't make sense. Didn't work for them. They changed. This is the Breeze game where they've still got Jing on Jet, right? So again, Paper Rex changing multiple things after they played T1 because they didn't know what they were doing at the time. They then played against a DFM who didn't turn up, and then they played against a sleepy RRQ for 2 maps, right? An RRQ that was just dead and buried. And yeah, they played pretty well in these 2 maps, but also RRQ, I think, made it pretty easy for them. And then RRQ finally decided to turn up on Abyss, and this was just an absolute slugfest nonsense game that really neither team was playing particularly well. They were just going A every round, both teams. So I think T1 are kind of frauds. And all of that is to say that Nats is going to give T1 a speech. I don't know what he's going to say. Stacks, you know, is terrible or something. I don't know. But Team Liquid are going to win this game. That's my one upset. But you will see, I don't think T1 are complete frauds, as I will now prove to you. Because when it comes to picking the teams that will make it to the next stage, in order of confidence, I mean, I've got G2 beating Paper Rex. If G2 beat Paper Rex, G2 will make it. In fact, whoever wins that game, I will say, is making it out of Swiss. Right? I feel good about that. I've got G2 winning that game, so obviously I'm going to pick G2. Mates, I think if they can beat EDG, which they should be able to, should be in a pretty good spot. So I am going to pick Mates as well. From then on, I've also got Liquid and NRG winning. Now, I could see, in fact, I feel good about Liquid losing to whoever they would have to play in the 1-0 stage. And NRG, I think, might lose. However, I feel better about NRG, and you are just better off picking the teams that you think will start 1-0 anyway. So I'm going to pick NRG. And then the final team is tough. In terms of, like, order of, like, these teams that I think could make it, I think EDG I would put last, then probably XLG, then Team Liquid, even though I picked them to win the first game. And then between these two. So I am between T1 and Paper X here. However, there is competing theories in my mind. Yes, I think that T1 are frauds. I do believe that to be the case. However, I think T1 have played better than Paper X. And everyone is on this Paper X train. T1, I am going to pick you. So whilst I am a doubter of this team in general, I think they have been better than Paper Rex. And I think if it came down to a matchup, which it might well do, right? It might come down to a T1 versus Paper Rex matchup here at the end. I think T1 probably have shown a little bit more overall. And so I am going to pick them. Now, at this point as well, I do like to pick a team to win the event. Now, it's possible that I pick a team here that will not even go to the playoffs. I am going to say that the winner of this tournament, and again, I've never been correct at this, I'm going to say G2 win it.